Okay, the masked professor is on the air once more. I have to apologize for the abrupt cancellation of last Wednesday's class. Unfortunately, we had an incident on Tuesday that required cleaning the entire building, and I was afraid they wouldn't be done by Wednesday morning. So I went ahead and canceled class. And I swear I'm going to make that class up. Unfortunately, last week, by the end, just ended up being a huge amount of things going on. So, there you go. Bob's your uncle. All right, so, of course, we're still working on our Excel skills here. All right, so once again, open up Excel and create your header. What would today be? Oh, which reminds me that I have not okay, here we go. 346-248-7790-99.
Followed by pound.
940-1699-1209.
You are in the meeting now. There is one other participant in the meeting.
And we honor them for it. Here, we'll make that 2 participants. All right. So, all right, here we are. Oh, and I started this because I wanted to know what day it was. Well, let's see, 19, 20, this is 21. All right, and I believe this is homework number 9. Now, one thing I want you to understand and know about before we get to actually starting you on basic statistics class is what to do with data to see, well, so that we can see what it looks like. All right, so we're going to have a column that we're gonna call random data. All right, so our, and you know what, I've already, made a mistake because I want that to be in column B. Right, column A is gonna be number. And I'm gonna put parenthesis J, close parenthesis after that. All right, random data, we've already worked with this a little bit. How do we create some random data? Well, it's pretty simple. We're gonna go equals RANDBET, oops. And you'll notice it pops up the little rand between. And I am going to make that, the bottom is going to be 0, and the top is going to be 13 for the, just for the grins of it. Now I know that Victoria doesn't like 13 because she's trichodexic phobic, but
I think more quad.
all right. Now we're gonna want to have a bunch of data for this, so I am just gonna. Wow, that's way too much data. Let's back that up to, yeah, about 40. All right, so I've got a bunch of random data numbers. Now I could have created this using the equals rand left parenthesis up, but actually you have to have the D in there. And what that would do is I would just give that a, oops, rand. I would just do something like multiply that times 13 to get the same idea, except that I would get, as you notice, more decimal places. If I just use that rand function, it gives me a number between 0 and 1. All right, but I'm not going to do any of that. All right, so I've got my rand, oops, that was interesting. I've got my random numbers here, and is that enough? Yes, that's enough. And I'm going to go ahead and illuminate those, highlight those. I'm going to right-click, copy, and then I'm going to paste values, right? Because otherwise, every time I fool anywhere in the vicinity, it's going to change all those numbers, and I don't want those numbers to change. All right. Now, what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and go to data, and I want to sort. Yes, sir.
How did you do paste vicinity? Right click and.
I'm sorry, ask that again?
You said you right clicked on it and then you did paste.
Right, but paste values.
Paste values, okay.
Yeah, when you go to paste, it gives you several different ways you can paste.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them will be a little clipboard and it'll say 1, 2, 3. That's paste values,
Okay.
right? So in other words, even though you may have generated those values using a ran between or some other function, it will paste the actual values in there as numbers instead of duplicating the function you used.
Okay.
Good question. All right. Now, I've got these, again, I'm gonna go to sort. I'm gonna go with continue with the current selection. Sort. So, sort by random, the smallest to the largest is exactly what I want. Okay, so I've got that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and in my number, I'm gonna put 1, 2, and go ahead and pull that down so that everyone has a unique identification number. Right, it goes all the way up to 34.
Okay, mine's not sorting from smallest to largest.
How is it sorting?
It goes like 6, 12, 13, and it's not in order.
Okay, did you highlight all of those?
Yes, all of them are highlighted.
Now, you already pasted the values, right?
No.
Okay, well, if you don't paste the values, they're gonna change every time you fool around with that selection. So go ahead and highlight all of those and paste those values in. All right, copy. No, not there. Right back where you are, right now. Okay, don't use Control V, that's not the right function.
Okay.
Use the right click on the mouse. All right, start over. Highlight all your numbers. Okay, right click. You're left clicking.
Yeah, because I'm not sure what I'm doing right here.
I don't know what you're doing there either, I can't read it.
Okay, so I'm doing right click and it's not doing anything.
Okay, well, I can see why. All right, come over here and click on another cell.
Okay. So should I delete that?
Yes. All right, pull down from there, just pull that down. All right, highlight all your numbers, right click, copy. All right, now right click again. All right, and see the one there where it says 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
That's paste values.
Okay.
All right, now sort.
Okay, got it.
All right. Now put your numbers 1, 2, 3, right? If you just put 1, 2, and then pull down from the corner, it will go ahead and give you the numbers. All right. Now, one thing that we have to have, well, we'll do the more interesting one first. All right, so do single quote equals left parenthesis J minus 0.5 right parenthesis slash N. Okay, so our number J here all right, and then we're going to actually put that into action and go equal left parenthesis J minus 0.5 right parenthesis divided by, and in my case I've got 34 random numbers. I don't know how many y'all have down, but be sure and use the correct number of random numbers. Okay, you should have at least 30. All right, and then I'm just going to pull that formula down. So that I have that all the way. Go to my home tab and turn those into percentages. Okay, everyone up? Now, I need one more thing, and that is I need to know what is the average value of my random numbers. So I go down to the bottom of that column, equals AVERAGE. Forgot how to spell average there for a second. Right, and then I'm going to come up here and, all right, so here's my average, right, which in statistics we would call the mean. My mean is 6.35294. All right. And I'm going to need that in just a minute. Now I'm going to create a chart. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to insert, I want a scatter chart. You'll notice that's at the bottom. It's got 2 axes and some dots in it.
In your formula, where did you get the letter J?
J is my number out here. See, number J.
Okay. And then it is your random number?
Mr. Wayne,
Yes.
if you go to cell C7, and I don't know what the formula is.
All right. It's the same as the formula right above there. See, equals left parenthesis J. your number in A7 minus 0.5, right parenthesis, divided by your total number of random numbers. Okay, perfect. All right, so now I go to scatter chart, and you'll notice it gives me a few choices here. I can have a scatter chart, or I can have a bubble chart. Wow. Those are some unusual bubbles there. No, wait, that's not what I wanted at all. All right, so insert a scatter chart, and you'll notice it's an absolutely straight line. Which I was hoping that we'd have a little bit of variation as far as where it was. All right, but that's creating a scatter chart for us. And what I want to do now is just clean up a few things. For one thing, I want to go to File and press Print, and then go back to see where my lines are. And I say, where are my lines? All right, File, Print. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I need to click off my chart before I do that. All right, so now I can go back and it'll show me. See, you'll notice my chart is so big that I'm lopping over the page boundary noted by the dotted lines here, right? And I don't want to do that. How much room have I got down here? Not as much as I thought I would. All right, so let me go ahead and clean up I'll format my axis so that it only goes to 1.0. And I'm going to format my x-axis so that it only goes to 35, right? Since I have 34 pieces of data. All right, so having done that, while I'm at it, I'm going to change my chart title. And call that random data. Oop, only data. Data is already, of course, a plural.
Can you show me how to format the plot area again?
I'm sorry.
Can you show me how to format the plot area again?
Okay. Well, when, actually, when I inserted this, it just automatically grabbed the data. All right, so let's go to, now when you say format the chart area, have you already got a chart that looks something like this?
Yes, and at the top it says equals J minus 0.5. It's not random data.
Okay, so click on that,
Okay.
right, and then you can just highlight it and change it.
Just highlight it and
Just click on the equals J minus 0.5 divided by N. Highlight that, and then you can change it.
Okay.
For the axis, what is going to be the minimum again, or the maximum?
I'm sorry, Brandon, what did you say?
For the axis, what was going to be the minimum or something like that?
When you go to the axis, put your cursor on one of the numbers and right click, right? That'll let you see this, this little thing down here that says format axis.
Okay.
You do that, the minimum should be 0 and the maximum should be 1.0.
1.9. Hey,
So happy to help. And we do this, a similar thing down here on our horizontal value axis. I put my cursor on a number, I right click, it gives me the format axis, right? In this case, I've chosen a maximum of 35 because I know I've got 34 numbers, so 35 is a very convenient marker. Where putting in 34 would be kind of silly. Right, so that worked out well. Now, you'll notice I've still got my, my dotted line here where the edge of the page, of the printable page is. Well, I don't want my graph to lop over onto the next page. So I come up here to my chart area, and I'm just going to shrink down my chart so that it fits inside the printable area on the first page, right? This is something kind of important. When people have to juggle a couple of pieces of paper, or even worse yet, 4 or 5 pieces of paper to read your chart, the chances of error and of them cursing you and hoping that bad things happen to you increase exponentially.
Can you scroll down a little bit? I want to see the bottom. Okay. No, your graph.
Oh, you just want to see the graph?
Yeah.
All right. I've got it large enough that it's hard to see the whole thing at once.
My numbers on the bottom axis, the x-axis, it's doing in increments of 1, 2, 3, 4 in single digits. How did you change it to 5?
Okay, well, what I can do is come here, I put my cursor on a number, right click, go to Format Axis. You'll notice here, you've got the units, major and minor, right? Well, it's got minor units. You okay there? It's got minor units at 1.0, but you'll notice those don't really show up. It's the major units that really make the difference here. And they're set at 5.0. Now, again, I didn't set that originally, right? It just automatically set it. And sometimes Excel gets kind of weird, like with Victoria, it's set it as 1 as the major axis. So every number is seen, which, you know, sometimes that's a necessary thing. In this case, I would say really it's kind of silly. All right. So there we have our little, now, whether, later when we're using actual data, yes, sir.
On column C, my percentages go over 100%. Like first one's 99%, and second one's 199%. I don't know what I did.
All right. We're just gonna copy this formula up here, where we say it's equal, left parenthesis, to our number J minus 0.5, right parenthesis, divided by N, which I know for mine is 34, but you may have a different number, so make sure you know what your number is. Right, so how many numbers have you got?
I went from 7 to 40, so
All right, so you've got 34 numbers.
okay, 34.
All right, and there you go. All right, so now are your percentages better?
No, it's still the same.
Still the same? Still? Okay, you don't have a right parenthesis after 0.5. All right, now try hitting enter. All right, yeah, pull that down.
Okay, looks good.
Oh, thank God for that. All right. I wish I had brought my brush to school today, because my beard is gonna look terrible in the Zoom meeting I have after this class. But that's nothing y'all need to worry about. All right, so, I am going to go ahead and highlight these two and wrap text so that I can tighten up my columns a little bit. And the reason I'm going to do that is I am going to, you'll notice it gave me another column here at the end, and I need to insert one more column for my next trick. All right, in this one, I am going to call this column error. And it is going to be the random data number minus my mean. All right, so it's going to be equal to my random data, in this case B7, minus, come down here, capture my mean.
How many decimal places do you have your mean in?
Well, I've got it at 5 decimal places. I'm really tempted to lower that number.
Okay, I put mine to 2, is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
The 5 decimal place standard was just kind of automatically set by Excel in this case. As long as you've got a number or 2 behind the decimal place, I'm not gonna worry about it a lot. All right, now, if I just pull that down, it's not gonna work very well, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna start, so this is gonna be the right one, but then as I come down, it's gonna be like these weird numbers. Well, first of all, I don't want it to be a percentage, so let's get that back to being an actual number with 2 decimal places. But what I want to do now is, because I want B41 to always be the number that subtracts from my random data, I'm going to put $B, $41.
Oh, come on, motherfucker.
You do realize we can hear you, right?
So just put the $sign before the A and before the 41.
For the bean, yeah, okay.
Yeah, before the B and before the 41. Okay, so if we didn't mind if the column changed, we could leave off the $sign before B. If we didn't mind that the row changed, we could leave off the $sign before the 41, right? But we always want it to be that cell B41 that's being subtracted. All right, so I just pull that down then. Right, so that then I have all of these numbers as the difference with my mean.
I'm not getting the value.
Okay, well, non-value getting, we can't have that. Okay, well, for one thing, you've got A 41 instead of B.
Oh. And then put the $sign in.
Right.
And then put it in here or just leave it?
Well, you want it in front of that B as well. Not, there you go.
Okay.
All right. All right, Now, click on that cell, hit number. Okay, and you want it to be an actual number, and go ahead and put a couple of decimal places there. Yeah, just click on that and it'll increase or decrease the number of decimal places. Hit OK and you're there.
Okay, thank you.
So happy to help, of course.
My number has a parentheses around all of them, for column D.
Okay, that's because you're showing it as currency and not as right? So what you want to do is go to number. All right, go to number and not as currency or accounting. Right, and so hit OK and you're there.
Okay.
Excel is a great tool because you can do so many different things. But at times it makes it very confusing because as you saw, for example here, I go to number, look at all the different things that I could express. You know, I could say a cell is just general. It's text, special, custom, scientific notation, fraction, percentage, time, date, accounting, currency. Oh my God. So we want to be careful how we format our numbers in Excel always. All right, so I've got my error, and what I am going to do now is I'm going to come down here, I am going to insert another scatter chart. And you'll notice, as so often happens in Excel, it just kind of randomly decides what data is important and should be put in, which of course is not what we want. So I'll move that over here, and so let us look at select data. All right, well, my equals j minus 0.5 divided by n, I just want to remove that. That's of no value to me. All right, I do want to keep the error, and I want to go ahead and for my horizontal all right, I'll hit OK. All right, so you'll notice that now I've got it, it just automatically renamed itself as error, which is not bad. And it automatically renumbered itself here on my y-axis, right? So you'll notice it goes from 8.00 down to negative 8.00. And I could tighten that up a bit by formatting the axis, and my minimum, I'm gonna go equals 6.5. My maximum is gonna be 6.75. Right, that'll tighten things up quite a bit there. And my horizontal axis, I'm gonna go ahead and put my maximum axis value. Well, my maximum axis value, I want to put as display units as none. Well, I'm just going to leave it alone for the moment then. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Right click on my numbers here, and then hit Format Axis. All right, there we go. And my maximum at 35. Bob's your uncle. All right, but I noticed that messed up my y-axis here. So I'm gonna right click on that, format axis. All right, it's saying it's still at it's still negative 6.5 to 6.75. I'll make my maximum 6.5 and my minor at 0.5. See if that cleans things up for me. Not as much as I had hoped, but acceptable enough. Now, I realize that I forgot something on my random data chart. Oh yes, by the way, let's go ahead and make sure that our error chart fits inside our piece of paper's printable area. All right, so let me go back to the random data chart. And I am going to right-click on one of my numbers so I get Format Axis. And what I want is actually a logarithmic scale. Right, so you'll notice that's just on your dialog box. You just click in the box where it says logarithmic scale. That's why that was a straight line and not a curved line like I expected. Okay. Thank dog I figured that one out.
You went to Format Axis?
Right. You right-click on one of your numbers, go to Format Axis, and then you have a choice of
Okay.
logarithmic scale. Right, we can also do values in reverse order, but for basic statistics and probability, these are two types of charts that I want you to know what they are and how to put them together. Victoria, did you already have basic statistics?
Yes, yeah. Math, under math though. I
Close enough for the government job.
Yeah, well, I'm taking inferential statistics right now.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, I'm still not totally happy with how my error chart came out. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna right click on a number, go to Format Axis again, and I'm just gonna stop fooling around with this and go negative 7.0 and positive 7.0 as my minimum and maximum. And click off that. All right, what I really wanted was to have a 0 line here.
I have that.
See, sometimes, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my major axes at 1.0, and that way I've got a 0 line. Although it makes it look a little messier with all those numbers, but I think we can live with that. All right. So, therefore, I'm going to click out of Format Axis. All right, so there we have our homework number 9. All done and ready to go. Now, I am tempted to change colors. That did not work out the way I wanted it to. Where's a nice strong red, comrade? Boy, they do not give you a very good red here. How about down here? Click on this chart, change colors. They don't give you a rust either. Yellow, no, that's silly. How about green? What am I doing wrong there? There you go. You'll notice on the change colors, you actually have 2 different, this I think is for background colors, the top scale, and then on the bottom is your colors for your dots, right? And of course, not every chart has dots as such. All right, so having said all of those things, save your file and computer skills. This is homework number 9, voiding. 9-21, 2020. All right, so, anyway, as per usual, send me your file, and then I'll be able to grade that. We need to talk a little bit about our midterm. Now, you're saying to yourself, what the hell kind of midterm can you have in this class? Well, ordinarily what I would have done is we would have already had our lectures from the librarian on how to use the library, and I would have you submit an article for your project as your midterm. You may notice we have not yet had any lectures from our librarian. And that, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and blame myself. It's been a problem of coordination with our librarian. So, so we won't have a midterm as such this week. What we will do is we will have our, we will go ahead and have our ordinary class on Wednesday. And then, I don't know if I will have you do work like you ordinarily do, and we'll call it a midterm, or we'll just call it quiz, homework, exactly how we're going to do that. Okay, so there you go. Bob's your uncle. Let me think. What else do we need to know today? Well, let me throw it open and ask, do we have any questions on y'all's part? Okay, well, that's not as helpful as I thought it would be then. Okay, in that case, I am going to go ahead and end the class a bit early, since I have to go and do interviews, and I've got to do my homework for that. So again, send me the file by email, and we'll go from there. Oh, I have a question. Have y'all been finding the feedback that I'm sending you to be at all useful?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Thank God I'm not wasting my time there. I'm wasting my time on some other stuff. All right, anyway, y'all have fun. I'll see you on Wednesday morning. And take it easy on yourselves.